So a few weeks ago, Beavercraft reached out to see if I would like to try out one of their tools, and I chose the Hatchet. I've actually been using Beavercraft tools for woodworking for many years, and I do like the brand. I especially like the spoke shave that I have, and I'll put a picture up there. It's one of my favorite tools, and I was looking forward to reviewing this and letting you know what I think of it. So it's a very small hatchet. It does come with a belt loop and a mask as well. Mask is pretty good. The belt loop is a little thin, but it's adequate. If you want to carry it on your belt, it's going to work. It's probably a 1-inch belt loop holder, but it works just fine. The mask itself, again, is the same material and works perfectly. So when I'm out hunting and camping, I'm very selective on what I actually bring with me because, as you can see, I'm on a small quad and I've got to be careful with the amount of space that I have to carry stuff. So I don't carry things that I'm not going to use or not useful. So this is a little on the small side, I'll be honest. It's actually sold as a woodworking hatchet or axe, which is exactly what it's designed for. But the head is actually quite heavy. I'll just show you the profile. So it has a very interesting wedge shape. You can see it really flares out here. And the axe came actually reasonably sharp. The wood was a little dry, which is to be expected because these things sit in boxes for a long time. And I did make some changes to the hole here for the lanyard. I put a lanyard in, I enlarged it slightly, and then I just burnt it to protect the wood. So that's why you see the scorching. You always won't come like this. It's just a straight through hole, but I wanted mine with a nice round so that my lanyard wouldn't like break or rub through. So that's a change. If you buy one of these, it's going to be different. The axe handle itself is adequate. I'd say the grain is at about a 45, so it's adequate. It's not the best grain structure for an axe handle, but with it being so short, I really don't think that'll make a difference. What I do like about this axe is it's got a good feel to it, and the shape of the blade is very good for carving wood. It will split some smaller pieces for kindling, but don't expect this to be able to go through an 18-inch log. It's not going to happen. The reason I always put a lanyard on is it's great for pulling tent pegs. You can just loop them around, twist, and then just pull. A couple of sharp pulls and you'll get most things out of the ground if it's frozen like it is getting that way at the moment. I've been very pleased with the axe so far. I've used it at home just to kind of test it out. I've been using it on my camping trip that I've been on for the last 3-4 days, and it's come in very, very useful. I found that I can actually use it as a hammer. It has a very nice face on it, very square. Some of the poles and some of the other axes that I've owned are somewhat curved for a different purpose, and I find that striking tent pegs or nails or whatever, it can sometimes slide off, but this is a nice square face, so it actually works really well. I would probably upgrade the mask if I'm back at my workshop, just to kind of make it more customizable, but it has a very nice heft to it. I do like it. It has a nice swell at the bottom of the handle, and you can get through some stuff pretty well. Made a couple of tools, some spoons, etc. with this, just carving exercises, and it's done really well. I like it very much. The price, again, I'll put it up there, is more on the expensive side. You can buy cheaper axes, you could buy a lot more expensive axes, and I think this is a nice combination of price. It does look like a forged head, so that's kind of nice, but I don't think it's stamped anywhere. No, but it's definitely a forged head, and I have confidence this is going to last a long time. I did polish the edge slightly just to give it a bit of a finer cutting edge. I like my axes to be quite sharp, especially for woodworking. They have to be extra sharp, but there we go. So let's get a bit of wood and see what the little axe can do. So hopefully you can see me down here on the ground. But this is a piece of very hard spruce that's been in the ground for some time. It's very dry, but let's see if we can make some chips. So it cuts very nice. This wood is about the worst wood you would want to use ever. I'm just going to break off some chunks so we can get a little fire going. So you can obviously hold the axe at the end and have leverage. Almost smells a bit fat woody, which is good. Or if you're doing fine work, you can actually use closer to the head. You can choke up. It's a little awkward where I am. But brings up some nice shavings. You can imagine if you were carving some sort of spoon or whichever. Yeah, I think we got ourselves a bit of fat wood there, which is awesome. Okay, so I do have some birch bark. I foraged on my way over. So this is a Light My Fire Small Scout fire steel, and we have our birch bark. So let's give it a go, see if we can get this thing lit. I tend to keep scraping until it's lit. I don't scrape and pause. With a smaller fire steel, it's hard to get very deep scrapes, but we'll see what we can get going. There we go. Obviously, if I was making a real fire, I would have lots of stick bundles here, but we're going to make sure this is just a very small fire. So, there you go. It's very good for making chips, for shaping wood, for which I'm going to take this home. Yeah, see all the fat wood in there. So I think I'm going to carve this out and take that home with me. Yeah, that's great. The smell of that. So this will go in my file out in pouch for a future time. So overall, I like the axe very much. For the money, I think it's a good quality axe that will last you a lifetime if you look after it. I regularly oil the wood with boiled linseed oil. Keeps it in good shape. I did a very heavy oiling when I first got it, and it's starting to dry out a bit already, so I need to get some more oil in there. I think the overall length is good for what it's intended for, which is as a carving axe. like I say, it's not really going to split anything. But as you can see, even with this very kind of junky wood, it's quite easy to shape. So I'm going to keep this in my ATV as my default axe, and I think it'll serve me very well for the purposes that I intend to use it for. It's great as a hammer to actually put in pegs for my tent, and I can split small pieces of wood. I tend to only really cut like 12-inch lengths and probably around that much, which this will quite happily go through some nice dry spruce or pine. So for that purpose, this is actually perfect for what I'm using. And if you are a wood carver, then this will be a welcome addition to your tool set, something to actually knock off a lot of that waste material to get down to that carved figurine or spoon or whatever it is that you do. So yeah, 2 thumbs up. Really like the axe, and thank you to Beavercraft for sending it out. And you'll be seeing this in future videos, I'm sure. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like these types of videos. And until next time, take care. And don't forget to check the link in the description for any special offers from the Beavercraft website or some of the other tools available. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.